we're going to look at the most common way of fishing for Atlantic salmon, and that is with a wet fly. The presentation of your wet fly to an Atlantic salmon is critical to your ability to hook that fish. When you approach a pool, think of downstream as one side and straight out from you as another. That forms a 90-degree angle. What you want is to cast your fly between 45 and 60 degrees from the shore you're standing on. When you cast across at 45 to 60 degrees, the ideal situation that you're aiming for is a perfect straight line from your hand to that fly. When the fly lands on the other side of the current, where you want it, the current will naturally pull your fly across the water. Your fly is coming across the current broadside on. As your fly is coming across the current, your rod tip will follow the fly. Your rod tip should be approximately 6 inches to a foot off the top of the water. When the fly comes down and is straight down from you, wait a second, then retrieve in your fly. Before you move downstream, throw another presentation out exactly like the one before that, only this time, as the current is drawing your fly across, you will mend in a little bit of line. That gives you 2 different approaches at this station. Upon having no strikes on those 2 presentations, you take a giant step downstream and repeat the same procedure all over again. When I work a pool, I usually like anywhere from 2 to 4 good presentations before I move downstream. And that's how you fish a wet fly. Now let's see if we can take this procedure and put it into action and hook a fish. I know there is a good salmon lie right out in the current there. In the water conditions that are here right now, I can't see if there's fish there, but I know it's a good lie from experience. So I'm going to feed out some line at my 45 degrees across the water. This is a very nice piece of water because there are no back eddies to make it difficult to keep your line straight and having a swing that you want. There's a bump, there's a bump, there's one. Now I felt that salmon bump that fly 3 times before he hit it. Now sometimes when your fly is coming across the water, you will feel these small bumps that feel like small trout or salmon parr. Don't be fooled. Salmon can strike in much different methods, from tiny bumps coming across the pool to a soft mouthing to a very violent strike. So if you feel these tiny bumps, be very alert, because that can easily be an Atlantic salmon. This fellow's got good current to work with. He's in fairly close to me, but he's not going to stay here. Now you notice, in fighting this fish, I'm fighting it with my butt into my chest, and my rod tip is kept high. I never lower my rod tip. This keeps good leverage on the hooking position in the mouth of the fish. This fella doesn't want to come out of the water. He's a subsurface salmon. There he goes. He didn't like the look of me. And when salmon come out of the water, I raise my rod tip up with them, and as they come back down into the water from their jump, I bring my rod right back down into position on my chest. That way there, I keep a nice taut line with no slack, that he can either spit it out or snap your leader. Constant pressure is the key to hanging on to an Atlantic salmon. This fella doesn't like the look of me. I'd say he's maybe an 8-9 pound fish. Also, when you're fishing these fish, I have my drag set at about halfway, and as he tires out, I increase my drag. And just before I plan on landing him, I'm fishing with pretty well full drag. Beautiful, beautiful looking fish. Now I want to see if I can start talking him into coming in here. He's getting closer. Gaining on him here. This fellow's now you notice I don't have a net with me, or I'm not trying to drag him up on the beach. My method is to tail him with my hand. That causes very little stress on the fish. And we have him. A nice male. Oh, I'd say he's about 8-9 pounds. Nicely hooked. I take the fly out of his mouth. If I lift him out of the water, I support his belly. And in this method, there is very little stress on the fish. That is a nice fish. His fin, he's had some damage to one of his fins. But other than that, he's a very healthy looking specimen. This way here, by tailing him, I put no stress on him. Plus, I do not disturb his scales. So the chance of infection is very small. Now when it comes to me to revive him, pull him back and forth through the water to get water going through his gills, and there he goes.